Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, proud to be the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Elif Childcare Insurance. Give Blake a call at 972-232-2258 to get a free quote on childcare business insurance today. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
Welcome to episode 58 of the Childcare Genius podcast. We're your hosts, Brian Duprey
and Kym Pomares.
Oh, I got a surprise guest host today. Look who popped in to the Duprey estate up here in central Maine. Nice to have you. First time this part of Maine?
Absolutely, yes. And it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
So you're staying in Bahaba. That's what the locals say. It's called Bahaba. How do you like Bahaba?
I like it. I would probably like it more if I could see more of it.
So you're fogged in lately, and this time of year it happens sometimes where the fog comes off that cool water. You get that moist air comes in and it just fogs in. I remember sending a text. I said, "Fog in Bar Harbor?" It goes, "Oh no, it's fine today." Then the next day she goes, "Oh my God, I can't even see my hand in front of me." So that's Bahaba for you. But anyway, it is beautiful when the fog does clear. And you're in Maine, coming up for a couple days. You're visiting around, and we got to see today. So we took a tour of all of our schools, and you got to see them, and you got to see all our rental properties too. So it took like 3 hours to go around and see everything.
Quite an empire you've got going here. It's amazing.
We call it a dynasty.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, dynasty. I'm more of the what's that guy's name in Dynasty? Not the guy that got shot.
I never watched
the other
it.
Guy. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, we quite enjoy it. And we're going to be together again in 4 weeks, aren't we?
Yes, in Jamaica.
We're going to Jamaica together. We're going to be doing some teaching down there together. We'll talk more about that later. But we're just excited to have you. If somebody doesn't know about you, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows about the famous Kym Pomares, right? So for those of the audience, the 2 or 3 people that have no idea who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So again, I'm Kym Pomares. I am a native Californian, but I have spent the last half of my life in Virginia Beach. And in 1992, I opened a preschool for 2, 3, and 4-year-olds. And it grew pretty rapidly. Things went pretty well. I ended up building my own building and turning it into a Spanish immersion school. So it's for children to become bilingual in Spanish and English. And then we started adding elementary grades. So the school presently is infants through 5th grade. I sold it actually right at 30 years. Still own the property, but no longer own the school. And now I have the opportunity to work along Coach Brian and Carol and all the other awesome coaches in Childcare Genius University.
I'm so happy you're on our team. And she has 30 years of knowledge and built the school. What was your license capacity in your school?
300.
So it's big school, huge school. I mean, that's like two and a half of my schools put together. She had one school. So she knows how to build big schools and profitable schools, mind you. And we love working together. So can you tell our audience, now we first met maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Tell our audience what condition your business was in when we first met. And then I started coaching you. So I was your coach for a couple of years. And when you sold it, was your business in a different shape than after working with me for a couple of years?
So when I met Brian, my school was actually going bankrupt. It was only I could only foresee a few months left. I was at my wit's end. I at least was smart enough at that point. I should have done it long before, although not a lot was available years prior, but I had finally determined that I needed help. I needed education, and I needed one-on-one coaching, somebody who could hold my hand through the process of trying to rebuild my school. It went very, very well. Got great coaching, got great information. And when I sold, the annual revenue was over $3 million.
Nice. Nice.
with a
business.
really nice bottom line. It wasn't just revenue, it was net profit was good.
See, it doesn't matter what gross profit is. It matters if you could pay the bills. You could make millions in gross, but if you're not making anything on the profit side, then you can't pay your teachers, you can't expand, you can't pay your own bills and your mortgage, and kind of you were spending more than you were making when I first met you.
Well, I was not only, I was running with about $86,000 worth of credit card debt.
That-
I was subsidizing the schools with my credit cards.
Yeah. And you know what? There's somebody out there right now listening who's in the exact same position Kym was. They have a high credit card, maybe even getting all this grant money for the last couple of years, and the grant money's drying up, and you're like, uh-oh, what, my business last year, all my profit was grant. What's going to happen this year? Give us a call. Let me help you. Let's look at the structure. Kym's an expert. She's our financial coach. So we can look at it together and we can help you. So, ask for a free call with us. We'll get on there and we will see if we can help you, because it's a perfect storm lining up with a lot of these owners.
Yes.
All this grant money, and everybody went out and bought it. And some people even increased their lifestyle, bought new cars and got all this nice thing. And all of a sudden the government siphon is starting to turn off. And I'm starting to see some people are going to start getting in trouble financially, and we can help. We are experts, and we will help you identify that and find a way to two things: increase revenue or decrease expenses. There's only two ways to increase profit: is get that bottom line number up, is to increase that tuition income coming in. There's ways to do that. We can teach you that, or to decrease your expenses. We could show you how to do that as well. So let's go into the past a little bit. I'm not a big living in the past kind of guy, but it's the best way for us to teach our audience. What would you say one of the biggest mistakes you made in your childcare business?
So I made a lot of mistakes. In 30 years, I had a lot of time to make a lot of mistakes. But at that time, I had no education on business practices, and no one to talk to about anything. So when I had my decisions, whether they were small decisions, my medium decisions, or huge financial decisions, I didn't have the knowledge to make good decisions. And so I made a lot of mistakes due to lack of knowledge and help. And even some of the decisions I made that were probably good decisions, I would immediately get pushback and I would cave. I didn't have somebody to say, Kym, it is a good decision. It's the right decision. Stand your ground. It's your policy. Stick with it. It will smooth out. I didn't have anybody to say that to me, or to help me and say, that's a good decision. Stick with it. No, that's a bad decision. Let's regroup. So I don't know that I would say it was necessarily my biggest mistake. It was the environment that I was in at the time but I got smart enough to change that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think a lot of people make that same mistake. Even people who've been in business 20 years, just because you have a lot of years doesn't mean you're necessarily making the right decisions along the way. And there's never a bad time to get help. And some people wait until it's too late. There is a point of no return in your business where no matter what we do, we couldn't help you. And sometimes I get calls from those people that, if you have, they're foreclosing on your daycare and the bank's going to foreclose in a week and a half, there's nothing I could do to help you. You've waited. You should have called me 4 months ago. So don't wait until it's too late to seek help in your business, whether increase revenue or even if it's a leadership problem. Sometimes it's just little short tweaks in the owner's mentality. And I've worked with you on mindset, so I know exactly what we're talking about. And you had been a leader for 20 years in your business, but you just needed a little tweaking. And boy, you turned into a great leader down the road, and you still are today. So let's go into the helping other people. So what advice would you give to somebody who's struggling in their childcare business?
Well, the advice I would say, one, for you, it's a perfect time and place. Like I was saying with myself, back then, 20 years ago, there was no one to help me. The only thing I could do is try and call my competitor and see what they were doing. And they sure as heck were not going to share any good decisions with me. But now you have access to people like us, the Childcare Genius University, where you get all kinds of education, information, and you get support, and you get one-on-one support. And that is huge. it's not enough to just be amongst a bunch of people throwing ideas around and being, reluctant to share. One-on-one gives you the opportunity to really dig into what are your issues in your school and what you need to do about it. So, don't try and do it alone.
I love how you brought up the one-on-one, because with one-on-one coaching, there is nowhere to hide. And when you're in a group of people and you're doing a kind of a group coaching session with 10 other people, it's easy to hide your problems. These are your friends in your group. You're not going to bring any negative in there, and you want them to be proud of you. So, of course, you're only going to bring positive to that little group. You're never going to tell them, geez, I can't even pay my mortgage here. Would never happen. But when you have a coach, you can't lie to your coach. Your coach knows, and there's nowhere to hide. And that's what I love about one-on-one, and you're not afraid. There's no embarrassment. I remember you telling me where your credit card debt was, you're embarrassed, but you weren't afraid to tell me that, like, I needed help. But I bet if we were in a room of 10 people, you wouldn't bring
No, I
that
would
up.
never have brought it up.
Right. And I think that's the problem sometimes with these group coaching models, is the people are just, the candidness is not there because it's peer pressure.
Mhm.
And because I remember those days, I was always intimidated being around other people. I never even wanted to say boo. I remember being told that. I said, Brian's the quietest guy in this room. I was like, I'm the best listener, because a person who opens his mouth is not learning. I want to learn from all these other people who are so much smarter than me. Then I realized, oh my God, maybe I do got a few things that I can say and people will listen to me, but I'm still a good listener.
I also think that in group coaching calls, you have some people who are naturally gregarious, and whether they have something really to contribute or not, they like to talk. And
take half the call.
Yeah, and they will take up the call, and you are silently suffering with whatever your issue is. And one, you're embarrassed to bring it up, but two, you can't get a word in edgewise. So that's why we feel it's so important to offer the one-on-one coaching, because that's where you get your real growth.
Yeah, and I was on a call this week with somebody who's dealing with some financial issues, and we were able to dig deep and keep digging and keep digging, and I was able to get to the root cause of where the issues were and help immediately get a problem solved. And I'm like, boy, if I want to keep probing and figuring that out by asking the right questions to find out the right answer. And I found out 2 out of our 3 locations were actually losing money right now. And I'm like, please, we have to immediately put plans in place and get this done. And she's actually part of another group who don't concentrate on finances. We dig deep into finances. And I'm like, please, I'm glad I'm finding this stuff now before it's too late, before they get to the point where you almost were, where you could almost lose your business. So it's the importance of getting help, and there's nothing shame with that. And it was probably one of the hardest things for me was to say, you know what, I don't know everything. I thought I did. And I found out that I didn't know a whole lot about childcare and marketing and leadership and stuff. I thought I was good at it, but I realized that I could learn so much more. And I'm still learning. And I still listen to other podcasts. I still learn. I still listen. And I realize that I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm not even close. Right now, I'm not the smartest guy in the room with Kym and me. And I never claimed to be. In my household, I'm not. But you know what? I'm the smartest listener, because I'm always listening for things and learning from everybody. So that's important. So you know what, Kym, that when this episode airs, all 3 of us are going to be in Jamaica. You, me, and Kym. Actually, your husband too. So 4 of us. You're going to be one of our featured speakers. What are you going to talk about?
So actually, the things that I love, because while I was terrible at my finances for years and had my head in the sand, once I started digging in, I developed a love of understanding. So I will be discussing knowing your numbers, the numbers that are important to know, and that the best way of knowing your numbers is to track them in spreadsheets, in dashboards. And I all of that I love.
I've been a big number tracker for many years. Probably, I have some of my numbers I track. I look back and I have all the way back in 2004. Wow. So 19 years I've been tracking my full and part-time enrollment. I've been tracking debt. Ever since I met you, that's when I really started tracking my debt to make sure.
I don't want to be a Kym.
I didn't have credit card debt because I got rid of it a long time ago, but I had loans for properties that I bought. And I, like you, I put together a spreadsheet, a database, and every property that I've ever bought, I've paid off within 5 years, because I know amortization and I paid them off. And I have bought hundreds of thousands of dollar properties that have all paid off within 5 years. because I knew my amortizations. I knew what I wanted to pay off, and I kept track, and every extra dollar I had was paying off mortgages. And now I've been able to leverage those properties. And we're going to teach a lot of that in Jamaica, aren't we?
Yes,
We're going to teach some
absolutely.
really cool financial tips. So in Friday in Jamaica in our leverage conference that we're at right now, so you can't come. We're actually there right now. We're actually teaching on Friday all financial topics, 4 hours of straight financial content and stuff that you're not going to hear anywhere else. You know, how to buy investment properties and how to capitalize and how to diversify, things like that. So but anyway, the recordings from our conference are going to be on sale. So if you want to purchase them, they'd be really affordable. And just visit our website at childcaregenius.com. You could probably get access to that. It's probably available, probably in the next couple of weeks. That'll be available if you want to see what we've done and are teaching. 20 hours of content. So we're going to wrap up now, Kym. So what do you do to relax and unwind? That's our mindset question. Where's your happy place?
My happy place. Well, I love to be out in the sun, in the warm.
So you love Bar Harbor, right?
Yeah, I love that cold, drizzly fog. Yeah. So, yeah, I love to be out in the sun. I love to read. I love to sew, and I love to garden.
And you make your own pants.
Yeah, I do.
I've seen you make your own pants. So cool. And I've seen crocheted rugs that you've done, or blankets.
Quilts.
Quilts,
So I make
sorry.
a lot of quilts.
Isn't quilt same as a blanket?
Yeah, but it's not crochet.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Crochet is a needle and yarn.
And what you do?
Fabric.
Oh, okay. It's still cool though. You make some really, really cool ones.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now you have an Airstream. You're traveling around the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're working coaching from the road.
Yes. I mean, one more perfect lifestyle.
It's like, where are you, Kym? I'm in Pennsylvania. Where are you, Kym? I'm in Florida. I'm in the Keys. I mean, she has been all over this country in her little, what do you call it? Silver.
What is
it? Silver?
Bullet. Yeah. Yeah. They look like silver.
It look like a Coors can.
Yeah, okay,
right, silver bullet.
Bigger is 30 feet long.
30. Okay, big Coors can. That Coors train with that Coors bullet.
We figured out by the time you have the Airstream and then you have the Grand Wagoneer, we have about 50 feet.
You're like a tractor trailer gun around. And Kym drives that thing.
I don't back it up. I backed it up into a wall. It was low though.
You've been really fired from backup duty.
Well, I fired myself.
Oh, Lord. Well, we're glad that you decided to bring the Airstream. And she brought her dogs. Our dogs got to meet her dogs today. Yes. And they actually got along great. I could not believe it. First time we have had other dogs in our house. And so Scout and Ranger were able to enjoy Miley and Riley today. We've been good having you in Maine. Joel, who works on my team, he's coming over and having dinner with us tonight. We're just going to have a little bit of fun and fellowship and talking about a lot of you. Yes. And how we can help you. And we were talking over lunch today, how much we enjoy coaching, helping people, and the satisfaction we get from helping a center owner out of that struggle, because we know where you're coming from. Kym and I have both financially struggled, and we have both been financially successful. And we want more of the latter for you guys and not the former.
Sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say, I love the aha moments. I love in the coaching. I was just working with someone who didn't really understand her P&L, and I helped her do a simplified one. And it was she had such a wake up call, and I was so proud of her because she was so excited to, not with what she saw. She wasn't excited, but she was excited to understand, to be able to understand where she was financially.
Those light bulb moments. And I call them wow moments, where just like, wow, I didn't see that. And I didn't see it coming. And we have a lot of wow moments in the Childcare Genius University. So if you are struggling as a childcare owner and you'd like to do a call with me, if you're a center owner, you have to have a licensed center looking for 49 or above, because I only have about 5 of these calls I'm doing a month. So I have to kind of limit it. I apologize for that. So if you do want a free call with me, go to childcaregenius.com and then go to the coaching tab, and then just select a free coaching call. And I'll just give you 2 or 3 tips, no obligation, just something to point you in the right direction. I like to say that I'm the rudder in people's childcare business. You know, you're the power, you drive it, you put the power to it, but I'm the rudder to help you steer it in the right direction. So if you're a little off course, you're a little lacking enrollment, maybe you're a little lacking on staffing, maybe you're a little lacking on leadership. There's so many different areas, financial and systems. Maybe your systems are a little weak. If you're a little off course and you need a little help, I could be your rudder. go on the website, childcaregenius.com. I'd love to read a coaching call. And this concludes episode 58 of the Childcare Genius podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode. And Carol will be back next week, and we will see you then. So have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.